G'day guys. I wanted to share a solution that I found to a pretty huge issue that's plaguing the game, inventory space. If you're anything like me, you play a lot of Descendants, and they need a lot of different weapons and reactors and external components. Like for example, I've got 2 Freyna builds, one for mobbing and one for bossing, and that alone is 10 or so inventory spaces, and that doesn't include my alternate reactors or components either. I often find myself having near 40 items in my inventory that I can't put in storage because I'll forget about them and then I'll probably end up forcing myself to farm some replacements. But again, most people have multiple builds that they use and multiple Descendants that they play, like Ultimate Bunny, Valby, SCMO, Enzo, Freyna, Lepic, etc. And you need to keep all of their stuff on you in case you want to swap builds between missions or while farming. Every time you get a mastery rank up, those extra inventory slots are so damn nice, especially seeing as how buying them is so expensive. I made a point when the game came out that I was never going to buy extra inventory space and that I was going to have to force myself to dismantle gear whenever I got full. But that kind of made my life annoying, especially when I'm doing long farms with lots of drops like for reactors. Also, if you want to know when and where the best reactor target farms are, our PSA series is in the link below, where we let you know every week where the best gear is. The devs have made dismantling and sorting gear a little bit easier by removing the 50 dismantle cap and changing the UI on the inventory screen, but you still can't clear your inventory while in combat, which means you need to take a huge amount of time out of your farming to leave the mission, leave the area, and start dismantling. Imagine if you could still have the same functionality and build variety while saving up to an extra 30 or in my case 40 inventory slots. That turns dismantling 70 items into dismantling 100, which is almost 1.5 times the efficiency boost. This method also makes swapping between builds infinitely easier, and you might finally be able to let go of some of those weird and niche reactors that you've been keeping in the off chance you decide to use a different weapon or build. Now, if you're a Destiny player, you probably know about DIM, or Destiny Item Manager. It lets you move your items between your vault and characters with ease, and unfortunately we don't have API tools or integration for the first Descendant yet, so we've got to rely on whatever the devs give us in-game. So, what is this method? You probably know about preset slots, right? They let you swap builds on the fly, and it's most useful to swap builds and external components. I usually use them to swap between my bossing, mobbing, and farming builds for different Descendants. But again, that means I've got to have a bunch of gear ready to go on the fly. Or do I? The storage box is at every outpost in the game. There's also 2 in Albion. It has the same amount of slots as your inventory, and it increases as you go up in mastery ranks. So how does this help us? Your preset slots can pull from the storage box wherever you are. No need for an outpost, and no need to go to Albion. I like to divide my inventory and storage box into 2 types, my gear and stockpile and my farming spaces. The more room I can make in my farming spaces, the more efficiently I can farm, and the more downtime we can avoid, the better. So the way I do it is that I have presets for everything I could ever want. I've got a Farming Bunny build, a Sharon build, a Luna build, and my Freyna builds. A lot of these use different equipment, and maybe if I'm farming for amorphous materials with Sharon or farming gold with Bunny, I want to go run some bosses on Freyna for external components. So instead of keeping all my gear on me, taking up my precious farming slots, I have presets for them all, and everything I'm not actively using is in my storage. And then all I have to do is open up my preset tab and hit swap. Now, if I want to change Descendants, I do have to be at an outpost, but if I'm swapping between my mobbing and bossing Freyna builds, I don't. I can pull all the gear I'd ever want for my builds on the same Descendant wherever I need. Maybe I want to go from farming void shards on Freyna to opening amorphous materials at a void reactor. And for me, that requires different external components, weapons, and a different reactor. I don't want to waste my time sitting at an outpost or dismantling gear. One of the big things that I've been doing this week is farming for tech, fire, and special round reactors in the Echo Swamp, for both my Lepic and SCMO builds. Now, because I'm farming for a min-maxed reactor, I've got to chug through probably a few thousand to find one I want. Let's just say that I'm going to get through 2,000 reactors this week alone. With 70 farming slots, this means that I've got to clear my inventory around 29 times while checking each individual reactor. If I have all 109 spaces, I need to clear my inventory 19 times. Now you might just be thinking, oh yeah, just keep your inventory clear while farming. That's a pretty simple thing. But you can really keep your inventory clear in all facets of the game just by optimizing how you use your presets. Speaking of optimizing your presets, did you know that you can use special characters while naming your presets and mod layouts? It's just a nice little bonus customization if that's something you're into. Personally, I always remember looking up tutorials when I was a kid to get color class names in Black Ops 2, and then I would find out that I had to use USB hacks and I'd always end up disappointed. We can get something pretty similar here in the First Ascendant. Unfortunately, you can't use colors for your presets, but you can type in chat with colors. For classes and preset names, you can use special characters though. I went onto this paste bin, and the link for that's in the description, which lists out all of the Unicode characters that are recognized by Minecraft. And most of these work in the First Ascendant, and while we don't have a full list, I highly suggest trying them out and seeing what works yourself. Let's quickly make a preset so you know exactly what I mean. This bunny build here uses a Thundercage reactor, and I'm using the Slayer set on my external components. These are different Slayer pieces from the rest of my builds, because this set has bonuses to gold, XP, equipment, and Kuiper drop rates. That means that I only want this set on while farming, as opposed to using my set that's min-maxed for survivability. So I'm going to give this mod setup a unique character name, and I'm going to go to my preset tab and do the same. I now can drop all of this gear into my storage box, head into the area that I want to farm at, and pull it all out instantly with the click of a button. It's perfect. It saves me so much time, and it feels great to have everything sorted and ready to go for whenever I need it. So yeah, that's all I've got. That's the trick. Use your presets and storage box effectively. Save your inventory space and farm as efficiently as possible. And as always, if you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.